Good morning again, all of you. I am Musarrat Jahan from the evening batch. And here I am because we are going to discuss about RBI and SEBI. What are the challenges, what are the relevance, how it shapes the governance, and how things can be done, and what we as an aspirants, which are going to be the future bureaucrats, can help in it. So, firstly, I think we should give a very brief interaction in not a very technical term, but in a very layman language so that we all can understand what exactly RBI and SEBI is and how it works. So, first of all, just imagine, you just have to imagine that the Indian economy is just like a massive bustling train station, just like we have our Charbagh railway station. I'm pretty much sure that you all have been there. Okay, so how you have to imagine things. Now imagine, RBI is the one who is making sure that the tracks are solid and the speed is just right. What does the SEBI do? SEBI, it ensures that passengers, which are the investors in the Indian economy, they do not get scammed into boarding the wrong train. They have to board in the train which will get them to their final destination easily. Now, today we are exploring two institutions that may not make headlines daily, but they silently skirt the foundation of Indian financial stability, which is RBI and SEBI. The relevance is undeniable, but so are the challenges they face every now and then. So let's talk about this. So for the pattern, we'll be first talking about the RBI's relevance, then SEBI's relevance, and then we'll talk about the challenges RBI and SEBI faces eventually. So RBI, it's Indian financial heartbeat. As we all are very much aware of its relevance, so I will not dig too much in it, but we'll superficially cover all the aspects. So first of all, it frames monetary policy. Think like repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, all these things which they all are regulated and supervised by RBI. All the banks which are in the schedule number, I think I'm forgetting, of the RBI Act 1934. So they all are regulated under RBI. Then we have its very important work that is about printing and regulating the currency of India. Then it acts like a banker to the government and also the banker to the last resort. If the government wants to initiate any fund, any policy, any new thing, so it's the RBI which has to help it. And for the bankers to the last resort, we all are very much aware of it, that if bank need help, if the bank is in a situation that will go bankrupt or something, so definitely bank RBI is for the last resort. Now, it also we have seen that it played a vital role in COVID aftermath, which is not very long enough, although it seemed it was just 1 or 2 years back, but it really was very unforeseen condition, but we thrived because we had RBI, which was such a regulating body, which was there standing behind us and made us pave the way from there. So these were the challenge, these were the relevance of RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Now we'll talk about SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India. See, it is the invisible protector of market fairness. As I've told you before that if there's a Charbagh station which is Indian economy, then it is the SEBI which will make sure that nobody will board into the wrong train, nobody will get scammed. If investors are investing, so they have some backup that okay, somebody is there, their money won't go in vain. There would be something, if not see, nothing is 100% sure. There will definitely be some highs and lows, but there is some regulation that okay, there's some security that okay, this is being supervised by SEBI, so we can trust on it. So it regulates the security market because without rules, the world would be in a complete chaos, and definitely we do not want that. It guards investors' interest, as I've talked about it before. It promotes financial literacy and transparency. How does it do it? Because it makes finance less intimidating and more inclusive. We can take the example of digital payment, that how we are very much aware and how are we very much friendly with the online payment, be it UPI, digitalization, normal online bank transfer. We do it like on our fingertips. We are very friendly with it. So these were the things that makes us realize that okay, how big of a deal and how good RBI and SEBI are. And now we are going to dig in a bit deeper into the challenges. That what challenges do RBI and SEBI face one by one. So for RBI, balancing independence with government expectation is a little bit hard. Because see, we were taught, and it's a fact that RBI is an autonomous body, but still it has to work under government. So, for example, if RBI wants to increase inflation, but government wants it to waive off the loans of farmers, for instance. So, in that condition, there is this a little bit of tussle between RBI and government. So, we have to make a balance so that we can address the issue more effectively. The second most important thing, which is somehow being addressed, is how cryptocurrency should be addressed and how things should be regulated. Still, we have that, okay, if you're using cryptocurrency, 30% tax or somewhere around 30% tax you have to pay on your earning. But still, we can see there's a little bit drop in the cryptocurrency after government has passed it. So maybe there can be more, we can think of more futuristic yet efficient way so that nobody's efficiency could be slowed down. The next one is inflation versus growth. See, I do not know about you guys, but I was of that mind that maybe inflation is a bad thing and inflation shouldn't be there. But now I've understood that inflation is as necessary as growth, because without inflation, you cannot see growth. If you want growth, there has to be inflation, but definitely it has to be a regulated one. So, to balance the inflation and growth is also a challenge that we need to address. So, lastly, there's this thing that in a country as vast and dynamic as ours, institutions like RBI and SEBI are not optional, they are essential. They do not just regulate, they reassure that, okay, somebody is there. They do not just correct, but they guide. Their strength will determine whether India's growth story is not just, but also fair, inclusive, and future ready. Lastly, I just want to conclude by saying that as an aspirants of governance, let us not just prepare to crack the examination to be a bureaucrat, but try to prepare in such a way that it will protect the institutions that protect us. Thank you so much.